Very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us for another series of Kitson webinar. So today, myself and Kay will be sharing with you about parent visa. So it's good to have you all back. I'm currently working from home in my Adelaide home in Australia, and Kay, she's at our PJ office in Malaysia. So without further ado, let me just change to the PowerPoint slide. I will give you a little bit introduction about Kitson Migration, and then I will come into the technical detail about the type of parent visa that if you are keen for parent visa, that you can apply for. Okay, parent visa. Now, this visa is actually for who? Obviously, parents stands for mom or dad, all right? And basically, you have children in Australia, and then they can be a sponsor for you to apply for a parent visa. So let me start with introducing who are the speaker today. My name is Michael Yong. I'm a registered migration agent with Department of Home Affairs body, where I have license to actually give advice for Australian migration. And my colleague, Miss Kay, she's based in our PG office in Malaysia, so she'll be helping me to do translation in Mandarin. So myself, as I shared, I'm a licensed migration agent. I'm also a licensed New Zealand immigration advisor. I've been studying in Australia, and after my graduation, I'm back to Malaysia. That was during my earlier years, and I've been running business for many, many years. And then for the last 10 years, I actually moved into the migration advice space. So I've been doing this migration advice for more than a decade. So who is Kitson? Now, Kitson, basically, our head office is based in Brisbane. We also have an office in Adelaide, where I have two more of my colleagues. They are both Malaysian. They have moved over here to support our clients in Australia. And back home in Malaysia, we have a strong team that is based in our Kuala Lumpur office. And we have a branch in Centrepoint, PJ. We have a Penang Scholar office. We have a partner in Brunei. We have an office in Kodak. And we're also having an office in Indonesia. So who we are? So our team basically consists of 6 licensed migration agents. So each of us have our own profile or specialization. So back in Malaysia, me and Miss Moon, we both manages the Malaysia and the Southeast Asian market. So we are very specialized in skill visa, business visa, and family visa. And back home in Brisbane, our team of senior migration agent, they are specialization in employer sponsor or those who are going for work visa and other category. Okay, now let me move on to today's topic. Now today I'll be sharing a series of part of the family sponsor visa. So there are many pathways for family visa. So the one that I shared last week was on partner visa. So today I will talk about parent visa. So this parent visa means that you have a sponsor. So as a parent, your child or your children are either an Australian citizen, a permanent resident is settled, or eligible New Zealand citizen. And there are a few types of visa available for parent visa. Now, a lot of clients, when they come to us, parents come to us asking about parent visa, why there's so many subclass, what's the difference, right? So let me just make it more easy for you. There are basically 2 types of category. One is for onshore, one is for offshore. So we start with what is onshore. Onshore means that you have to be in Australia and you apply for this parent visa. Now, the advantage of this parent onshore visa is that once you are there, if you have an eligible substantial visa to enter Australia, and there's no visa condition, you are allowed to apply for an onshore visa. So onshore visa will start with the subclass number 8. That's 804, 884, or 864, right? So this visa basically will allow you to live in Australia while waiting for the visa decision, because some visa will take years and years for decision, especially parent visa, because there's a cap and there's a queue system. So during the period when you are there while waiting for the visa, the department will give you a bridging visa to stay on. So that is what we meant by onshore. And offshore visa means that you are outside Australia and you apply for this visa and you wait for it to be granted before you move to Australia. So again, which visa to apply, it depends on your situation, where you believe that it's time that you want to really retire, move to Australia, spend time with your children, or maybe you have grandchildren there, you know, then you may think of getting the onshore visa. So if you are not in a hurry to go there, but you want to make sure you get your permanent visa first before you move on, then you can apply for the offshore visa. And that is two main categories. And the subcategory of each of the onshore and offshore, they basically have a normal parent visa, or they have an aged parent visa, and there is one that is the faster one called a contributory parent visa, where you pay a significant amount of money in and you get a shorter queue system. Over to you, Kay.
OK, thank you, Michael. 那今天呢，我们就要来分享一下，就是家庭担保签证。那家庭担保签证呢，它有分成很多种签证类别，比如说夫妻担保啊、子女担保啊、父母担保啊等等的。那么前2周呢，我们就分享了夫妻担保 （partner visa）， 对吧？然后有分境内、境外的。那么今天呢，我们就来着重讲一下，就是父母担保这个签证的。那么同样的这种家庭担保签证呢，它的主要目的呢，就是于让澳洲移民局呢，它是致力于推出各种类别的家庭签证，让到一些身在澳洲的一些家庭成员可以与人在海外的家庭成员团圆的。那么基本上呢，这类型的签证呢，它的主要的担保人呢，都必须要是澳洲公民、永久居民，就是所谓的 PR， 或者是符合资格的新西兰公民来进行担保的。我们今天呢要分享的就是父母担保签证。那父母担保签证呢，它有分为好几种类别的。基本上呢，我们的客户来咨询我们的时候呢，他都会很疑惑，都会很好奇，为什么父母担保签证有分为那么多种类别？那么每一种类别都有哪些分别呢？那他们都是适合申请哪一种类型的父母担保签证呢？我们今天就来一一的分享一下。父母担保签证呢，总共有分为4大类。它有分为境外、境内，然后也有分为大龄跟普通的父母签证的。首先呢，我们来先说一下，就是代号804的大龄父母签证。代号804的大龄父母签证呢，它只适合用于境内申请者来申请的。那么就是第2个就是103的境外父母签证。顾名思义，就是海外的申请人申请咯，就是说你人在境外的时候提交申请。第3种类别就是 contributory parents visa， 就是付费的父母移民，代号143。之后最后一个就是付费大龄父母签证，代号864跟884。那么中间到底都有些什么区别呢？我们之后会做出详细的解释。
Thank you, Kay. Right, now the first visa I will share is the onshore visa. It's called Aged Parent Visa Subclass 804. Aged Parent Visa means that you must be at a certain age and above to be entitled to be considered Aged Parent Visa. So Australia, basically, they have a retirement age, where just a quick nutshell. Basically, if you are born from January 1954 to 30th June 1955, right? So the pension age will be at 66 years. And then there is a different date that will have a different year for the pension. So once you want to find more detail about that, when you speak to us, we'll basically get your date of birth, and then we will match what is the age that you are qualifying for this visa. So this visa, you will need to have your child to sponsor you. So the child, as I repeat again, it must be either an Australian citizen, accepted permanent resident, or eligible New Zealand citizen. So obviously, your child must be over 18, but in the circumstances where your child is under 18, all right, there is option where we can use eligible relative or community organization to be the sponsor. So this visa is onshore, which means you have to be in Australia when you apply and when the decision is being made. So what I shared earlier on, if you decide to move to Australia earlier on while waiting for this visa, this could be an option for you. Now, because this is a parent visa, and parent visa will have a cap and a queue system, so there is a very long waiting list to get this visa to be approved. And the good thing about this visa is that it's a permanent resident upfront, which means once you are approved, you are given a permanent resident. So as I shared earlier on, you must meet the minimum age requirement. Now, very important for all parent visa, all right, there is one criteria which is called balance of a family tree. So which means it depends on how many children you have. So whether it's your children or your stepchildren, all right, you must have at least half of them in Australia, or there are more eligible children living in Australia than anywhere in the other part of the world. Okay, over to you, Kay.
Okay, thank you, Michael. 那我们首先呢，我们先分享一下，就是父母签证的第一类别，就是804大龄父母签证。这类型的签证呢，它是属于境内提交的，所以当你父母呢，当申请人他们想要提交这类型的签证的时候呢，前提他们必须要抵达澳洲，他们可以拿着不同类别的签证抵达澳洲，比如说旅游签啊，或者是一些其他符合资格的合法签证抵达澳洲之后再提交申请的。然后这类型的签证呢，它是境内提交，同时它有一个要求，就是当你在审核的时候呢，当你获得知道你的结果的时候呢，那个时间点你也必须要在境内，所以它的要求是在于申请的时候跟提交的时候呢，都必须要在境内。这类型的签证呢，它跟其他家庭成员担保签证都是一样的，就是说你的担保人呢，必须要是澳洲公民，符合资格的PR， 或者是一些符合资格的新西兰公民的。如果你的担保人、你的小孩他是未满18岁的话呢，那你必须要有符合资格的亲戚或社区组织来担保的。就像我刚刚说的，提交这类型的签证的时候呢，人必须要在境内咯。这类型的签证呢，它的审查时间呢都会比较漫长的，因为这类型的签证呢，另外一句话就是属于那种比较，它的签证费会比较便宜的，所以呢，相对来说呢，它的签证的审核时间它会比较长的。然后至于多长的时间呢，这取决于移民局当时的申请队伍，还有它所提供的名额有多少。这类型的签证呢，当签证一批下来之后呢，它申请人呢就会获得澳洲的永久居留证，就是所谓的 PR。这类型的签证呢，它非常好，是在于呢，你人可以在境内提交，然后在等待的申请过程当中呢，你人可以在境内或境外，你可以自由的出入境澳洲。但是呢，当你想要出境澳洲的时候呢，你必须要申请，就是我们所谓的过桥 B， 就是 Bridging Visa B， 然后之后呢，你就可以自由的出境澳洲啦。还有，然后这类型的签证呢，它非常有一个重要的要求，申请人必须要符合的，就是年龄那方面。大龄父母签证呢，所谓的大龄就是申请人呢必须要符合澳洲指定的年龄，那么你才可以申请这类型的大龄父母签证，代号804。第二个要求就是属于 balance of family test， 就是家庭均衡比例测试。基本上呢，必须要有超过1半以上的子女或者是续子女呢，是符合澳洲资格的子女才可以提出申请的，或者是你身边有超过1半以上的孩子，或者是一些符合资格的孩子呢，是居住在澳洲多过其他国家的，那么你才可以提交这个申请。如果你有什么不确定的话呢，其实你可以咨询我们，你可以私底下信息我们了，告诉我们，然后我们会帮你告诉你到底你是否符合资格申请这类型的父母签证。
Thank you, Kay. Kay, thank you very much that I left out the note about the bridging visa. Thank you for translating in Chinese about the bridging visa. So the bridging visa is where basically we are onshore. When you apply for onshore visa, you begin a bridging visa. And if you leave Australia, you need to apply for a bridging visa B to leave Australia. Okay, now the other visa is a parent visa subclass 103. Now this visa is offshore, which means you are not in Australia, and then you apply for this visa and you wait for this visa. Now, sadly, this visa has a very long waiting time. So for what our experience that we have, and they've been asking around, and there is a visa processing calculator date for parent visa in the Department of Home Affairs. Now the waiting period can be up to 30 years for this visa, so it's quite a long visa. So if you can afford for the contributory visa, which I will share with you later on, that will be a much faster pathway for you to move to Australia. So what is the requirement for a parent visa? Again, you must have a child who is a permanent resident, settled permanent resident, or Australian citizen, or eligible New Zealand citizen. And your child must be over 18. If it's under 18, it can be sponsored by eligible relative or community organization. As this is an offshore visa, when you apply, you must be outside Australia. However, once you apply, you are free to travel to Australia under other visa like visitor visa. But when they want to grant the visa to you, at the time, you must be outside Australia. As I shared earlier on, it's a long wait for this visa. It could be up to 30 years of waiting. And because there is a cap on this visa, and there's a long queue system for that. So this visa is a permanent resident. And the other common criteria you must satisfy for all parent visa is that you must pass the balance of the family test, which I have shared earlier on the first slide. Half of your children or your stepchildren must be eligible children living and settled in Australia. Or more of your eligible children are actually living in Australia than any part of the world.
OK， 然后我们接下来我们要来分享第二类型的父母签证，就是103父母签证。那么它跟刚刚804有些什么区别呢？804是境内申请的，而且它只是适合用于大龄的父母才申请的。那么这个103呢，它是境外申请的，不管你今天你的父母是多少岁，比如说50、40或者是60，那么你也可以提交这类型的签证的，它没有年龄限制。好吗？然后这类型的签证呢，顾名思义就是境外申请。那么在提交申请的时候呢，申请人必须要在境外。那么在申请的过程当中呢，申请人呢是可以领着一些合法的签证进出澳洲的，比如说旅游签啊、EPA 啊，或者是其他一些合法的签证的。但是呢，这类型的签证它是境外签证嘛，那么你在提交的时候呢，人必须要在境外。同时呢，在审核结果出炉的那一天呢，你人也必须要在境外的。这类型的签证呢，担保人呢，同样的也是必须要是澳洲公民，或者是 PR， 再或者就是符合资格的新西兰公民。第二点呢，就是你的孩子，如果你的担保人呢，他是未满18岁的话呢，那么你必须要有符合资格的亲戚或社区组织来做担保的。这类型的签证呢，它的审核时间呢也是异常的非常的长。由于呢，因为它不是属于付费父母移民的，所以签证费那方面呢是比较便宜。那么同样的呢，当你签证费比较便宜的话呢，你的审核时间固然是比较长的。根据我们以往的经验呢，它的审核时间呢可能会长达30年之久的。但是这还是取决于移民局当时的申请队伍还有名额啦。之后呢，申请人呢，当你获得这个103的签证的时候呢，你也是属于澳洲的绿卡了，你也是获得澳洲的绿卡，就是所谓的 permanent resident。当你要申请这类型的签证的时候呢，申请人必须要符合就是家庭均衡比例测试 （balance of family test）。同样的跟刚刚804是一样的，就是说你必须要有超过1半以上的子女是符合澳洲合格的子女，那么你才可以提交申请，或者是你的子女当中呢，居住在澳洲的符合资格子女是超过其他居住在其他国家的子女的。如果你有什么不确定的话呢，你也可以私下咨询我们，我们会让你知道到底你是否适合申请父母签证，还有你是适合申请哪一类别的签证的。
Thank you, Kay. Okay, the other visa which I want to share with you is called contributory parent visa. This visa basically the queue is much shorter. And you pay a substantial amount to the Australian government that actually goes to your medical costs. Because once you are a permanent resident, your medical treatment is covered by the Australian government. So all the public hospital you can access, and we are going for medical treatment, there is a bulk billing that they can actually do, and you will have to pay for the gap if you are going for the private. So for contributory parent visa subclass 143, 143 start with 1 means it's offshore, so which means you are outside Australia, you apply for this visa, and you wait for this visa to be granted before you move to Australia. So the common criteria again is that you must have a child who is Australian citizen, or a settled permanent resident, or eligible New Zealand citizen. If your child is under 18 of age, you can be sponsored by eligible relative or community organization. So this visa is an offshore, which means when you apply this visa, you must be outside Australia. And when the decision is given to you, you must be also outside Australia. Now, the current waiting time for this visa is based on approximately, because based on our previous cases and also cases from our other colleague, it ranges between 3.5 years to 4.5 years. So why there is such a long wait? Because there's a cap and there's a queue system there. So many years when I started doing this parent visa, it was much shorter, and because of the cap and the small queue, so it goes a bit longer. So again, this parent visa, you must satisfy the balance of the family tree test. Over to you, okay?
OK， 然后我们来分享一下第3个类别的父母签证。那这类别呢是属于付费父母签证，代号143。这类型的签证呢也是比较受欢迎的，因为第一，它为什么那么受欢迎呢？是因为它的签证时间呢是比较短的，而且是短很多，它比刚刚的804跟103来的短非常多。所以呢，当一些担保人他们比较有经济能力的话呢，他们都会宁愿付这个费用，然后让他们的父母呢可以尽早获得绿卡，然后同时享受澳洲的福利的。好，那我们来说一下这个143父母签证类别，同样的咯，就是你的那个担保人，你也必须要是澳洲公民、澳洲绿卡 PR 或者是符合资格的新西兰公民。然后第二点就是你的孩子呢，如果是未满18岁的话呢，则需要符合资格的亲戚或社区组织来做担保的。这类型的签证呢，它是属于境外父母签证。境外付费父母签证的，所以呢，他在签证提交还有签证出炉的那一瞬间呢，你人必须要在境外。但是由于它的审核时间需要长达3年到4年嘛，然后呢，你在审核的过程当中呢，你人是可以无限制的出入境记录的，你可以无限制的出境澳洲、入境澳洲，你可以拿着旅游签、ETA 或者是其他的合法签证进出澳洲的。但是在审核的结果出炉的那一瞬间，你人必须要在境外就对了。之后呢，这类型的签证呢，它的审核时间呢，你只需要大概3到5年之间的。但是呢，到底是要多长的时间呢？这还是要取决于移民局当时的申请队伍还有名额的。同样的，它跟刚刚的804还有103的签证是一样的。父母呢，还是必须要满足家庭平均比例的测试的，就是超过1半以上的孩子必须要符合澳洲的合格子女，或者是居住在澳洲的合格子女是超过其他国家的，那么也可以申请的。
Thank you, Kay. Okay, the final last visa option for contributor parent visa, which is the onshore contributor age parent visa subclass 864. So age means obviously you must be over reaching the pension age, right? Again, the criteria are similar. So you need to have a child that is an Australian citizen, or eligible PR, or even eligible New Zealand citizen. And if the child is under 18, it can be sponsored by eligible relative or a community organization. So, and this visa, you have to be in Australia when you apply. And again, the decision, when they're giving you the visa, you must be also in Australia. So there is a minimum age requirement to meet the age parent visa. And the queue for this visa is a little bit shorter, ranging from 1.5 to 2 years. But I have to say a disclaimer, this is just based on our experience and also our information we gather from other agents, because it's subject to the Department of Home Affairs cap and also the queue system. Again, as I say, all parent visa, you have to meet the balance of the family test. So do remember, half of your children must be in Australia, or most of the children must be living in Australia compared with other countries. So just say you have 2 children, and then you only have 1 child in Australia and 3 of them back home in Malaysia, you will not be eligible for applying for all the parent visa. But if you have 3 children staying in Australia and there's 1 that is back home in Malaysia, then you are eligible to apply for the parent visa. All right, over to you, Kate.
Okay, thank you, Michael. 那么我们来分享一下最后一个签证类别，就是付费大龄父母签证这类型的签证呢它的代号是864。顾名思义，大龄父母签证呢，就是说你的年龄必须要符合澳洲的要求，就是退休年龄，你才可以提交。还有这类型的是付费父母移民。就是说你必须要给钱给澳洲当局的，就是他们指定的机构。然后呢，这类型的签证呢，它的签证时间呢是异常的短的，它会比刚刚的804、103还有143来的短一些些。这类型的签证呢，同样的，它跟刚刚之前那几个呢的签证要求呢，也是非常相似，就是担保人呢必须要是澳洲公民，或者是符合资格的 PR。再或者就是符合资格的新西兰公民的。如果你的担保人，你的小孩是未满18岁的话呢，你可以由符合资格的亲戚或社区组织来做担保的。这类型的签证呢，大龄父母签证呢，它是可以在境内提交的，它也必须要在境内提交。如果你今天是申请这类型的签证的话呢，那么申请人呢，在签证提交的时候，还有签证结果出炉的时候呢，人必须要在境内的。当移民局他给你提交境内签证的时候呢，他会给你一个过桥 A， 然后过桥 A 呢可以让你合法合格的居住在澳洲，等待签证结果出炉的。当你在签证审核的过程当中呢，你有事情你想要出境澳洲，你想要回到你的国家，回到马来西亚或者是中国还是其他国家的话呢，那么你是可以申请过桥 B 来让你出入境澳洲的。这类型的签证呢，顾名思义，大龄父母嘛，那么你的年龄呢是必须要符合澳洲指定年龄。然后这类型的签证呢，通过我们过往的经验呢，它的审核时间呢大概会在于1.5年到2年之间，但是还是需要取决于移民局当时的申请队伍还有名额啦。之后呢，这类型的签证呢，它必须要符合跟刚刚一样的，必须要符合家庭均衡比例测试的。就是要超过1半以上的子女呢，或者是续子女呢，是符合澳洲资格的子女，或者就是居住在澳洲的合格子女，比起其他任何一个国家都要来得多的。好，我举一个例子，比如说你今天有3名孩子，那3名孩子都是澳洲的公民的话呢，那么你是符合资格的。那如果你是3名孩子都是澳洲绿卡，但是2名孩子呢，他可能是不常在澳洲的，更多时候呢，他人是在其他国家的，比如说是在马来西亚的话呢，那么很大可能呢，你是不符合资格的。但是这还是要取决于我们的审核，所以我们会建议你呢，你私底下联系我们，让我们确定一下到底你是否符合资格申请的。
Thank you, Kay. Now, a lot of you may start to wonder, how much is the contributory parent visa? Why I want to apply for a normal visa where the wait can be in 20 or 30 years away, and for contributory parent visa is much shorter. So how much do I need to pay? Let me share with you the department website on the amount, because the amount increases every year, right? So currently the contributory parent visa, let me just open back the website. My apology, just let me get the page up first. Okay, contributory parent visa, subclass 143. So at the time when they want to grant you the visa, you have to pay per parent 47,755 Australian dollars. Yes, it's quite a substantial amount. However, do consider, because you're actually paying for you to get the visa much faster, and once you are in Australia, you can enjoy the benefit being a permanent resident. So I'll just move back to the PowerPoint. That's the last PowerPoint that I have. So what is next? Do continue to follow us on our Facebook, and please like our Facebook and share our Facebook to your other friends or your other colleagues. So we will include more and more different types of visa to Australia, and time to time we will include other subjects that is related to migration. It could be in terms of education, healthcare, property, right, investment. Right? So the last slide is where our contact is. So do contact any of us at the number below, right? Our mobile number is there. If you have any question, just give us a call and send us a WhatsApp. So with that, thank you very much for your time. And Kate, 谢谢你的翻译, and I look forward to see you again in our next webinar, which we will have it on every Saturday. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.